Welcome to GCCars, and my name is Eric, and today we got the Ford Mustang EcoBoost High Performance. And yes, it is, as you might be able to tell, a convertible, perfect for the Canadian fall. No, to be fair, it's been quite cold, but we have like one more nice day here. But let's talk a little bit about the EcoBoost. We've already tested the GT last year, also as a convertible, and I really liked it. And this one has the manual transmission, which is actually going away next year with the new Mustang, with the new generation. It'll still have the EcoBoost, it'll still have the V8, but the manual is exclusive for the GT. Because, pretty simple, only 10% of all EcoBoost buyers opted for the manual transmission, so it just makes sense for Ford to axe that. Unfortunately, because I think this is actually quite the nice powertrain combination. This is good, this is fun. I like this. Yes, okay, let's address the elephant in the room. It is not a V8, an inline-4 Mustang. It's not a Mustang. Shut up. First of all, I'm sorry. I get where you come from, but this is nothing new. Inline-4 Mustangs have been a thing for a very long time, and this EcoBoost engine, this 2.3 liter turbocharged V6, inline-4, is actually quite fun because we have the high performance package. We get 332 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. And we have like a little bit of turbo lag, and then it goes. And even the active exhaust, honestly, it does not sound bad. Admittedly, yes, I missed the drama a little bit in the first couple of days when I got into here. Especially because the Pirelli P0s we have on this EcoBoost are quite capable. So it doesn't really dance as much. It doesn't really, I don't want to break loose. It doesn't. You don't really have to fight it, and I normally enjoy a car that I can fight a little bit and just, have to dance a little bit with. And this one just didn't quite deliver on that front until I got used to it a little more, and I started appreciating the fact that I can actually be on the throttle for a little more than 2 seconds without going to jail. And if you really kind of know how to drive it, it can get a little bit loose. It can be a little more fun to drive, especially if you, like we are right now, in track mode, which means traction control off, stability control off, because quite frankly, this is a very docile car. Fun, but docile. So yes, is it a V8? No. Is it fun? Yeah, it is still pretty fun, especially with the manual. And yes, the manual isn't the best. This MT82, it's not as good as the Tremec you get in the Bullet and in the Mach-E. It's not as good as the transmission you get in the Camaro, but despite its flaws, it's still a very fun transmission. It is pretty easy to shift, and a manual just transforms the car. But I would say, how about we do a proper launch and see how quick this EcoBoost can go. Okay, now, launching this first gear manual shifting, obviously we have launch control though, so let's slam it. And she goes, don't be fooled. Yes, this might not be V8 fast, but it is still a very quick car. 0 to 60 in roughly, I think, 5 seconds, maybe just shy of it. But the engaging part is just with the manual, right? I like this. Yes, it's not V8 fast, but it is quite good. And honestly, this EcoBoost combined with the manual just is an enjoyable package. And then you have the open roof experience, and no matter where you're driving, even if you're in a traffic jam, you just kind of know, out of everyone on the road, you're just having the best time, all right? Nobody has as much fun as you do when you open top in your convertible. You're just cruising, you pump out that B&O sound system, you're just having a great old time. But there's a thing about this Mustang here, because as spec'd, this comes out at roughly $58,000 Canadian, which quite frankly just does not make any sense the way this is spec'd. Because first of all, this is spec'd obviously as a convertible, meaning you pay about $5,000 more, $5,500 more over a coupe Mustang to have the convertible experience. But then they also spec the high performance package for $6.5 grand, which gives you like a lot of goodies, more horsepower, like stiffening up and all that. But basically you pay $5.5 grand to make the car more relaxed and less sporty, and then you spend $6.5 grand to make it more sporty again. So you spend like 11 grand to negate the other effects. Yes, you still have the open roof experience, but at this price you spend 3 grand more, and you have a Camaro SS1 LE, which is, in terms of like pricing, in terms of sportiness, hands down the way better car. So if you want the convertible experience, then just don't spec the high performance package, get the premium package of the EcoBoost, get the convertible, get yourself the B&O so you can actually hear something even when you're out on the highway, and then you have a car for a little bit over 50 grand, and it is very enjoyable. You don't need the V8 to have the fun with a convertible Mustang. It is still very enjoyable. It's still an experience to go from A to B in this. But if you care more about performance, you're not gonna buy a convertible probably anyway. So you either get a GT Mustang for a little bit more, or you get the coupe EcoBoost high performance for like 5.5 grand less, or you go Camaro. So this aspect really doesn't make any sense, but they probably just did it so you can test both at the same time. And like I said, yeah, it's pretty fun still. It is still pretty fun, and the whole car actually drives very well. As I shall demonstrate, the steering is nice and precise. Not the most feedback ever, but enough for me to pretty much know at all times what's going on, what my four wheels are doing, and what's going to happen. The suspension, while compliant for the most part, a little on the harsh side, but compliant for the most part when daily driving, when you're pushing it, is actually so nice and stable, and that's where you actually notice all the additions of the high performance package, like the bracing and the struts and all that you get. That of course would be even better in a coupe Mustang, but well, this isn't a coupe Mustang, so whatever. And it's just a good experience. It is fun to drive. It is fun to drive. It is engaging to drive. This is a proper sports car, and as much as some people might not like to hear it, this is a proper Mustang. It's not a GT, it's not a V8, it's not as good, but for a 4-cylinder Mustang, this still delivers a great experience that not that many sports cars can rival. I like this a lot. It's a great deal of fun, and I can't wait to test a new Mustang next year. Oh, and just for the record, exterior, here you go. You've seen this thing for like years. You know how it looks. You've made up your mind. Front, side, rear. I think it looks good. Interior is the typical Mustang interior. Nice design. Quality and materials are kind of mediocre, but nice and usable. And these seats are actually very comfy. So I'm good, but it's still a Mustang in the end. Okay, but let's conclude it. Final thoughts. We're just going to do it in car because it's what way more fun than for us to sit outside. 1 second, just wait for the corner. Yep. So, final thoughts. This spec doesn't make any sense, but the EcoBoost makes a fine sports car. With the high performance package, you actually have some decent and enjoyable handling and driving capabilities. And if you scrap all that and just want to have the open top Mustang experience, the EcoBoost will do you just fine. With that being said, next year we're going to drive the new Mustang, hopefully EcoBoost, Dark Horse, and GT, and I'm still trying to get my hands on a GT500 before this S550 generation goes away. But if that works out, and when that works out, we will see. So remember to subscribe because we upload videos every single week, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.